Okay, now we can start shading the skin of the face. And let's focus only on a small area at a time. And let's start here with the darkest area on the left side using an HB. And since we have already shaded the facial features, as our light source is coming from the upper right corner, we have to make the left side of the face much darker. So maybe 1/3 of the width between the nose and ear. So left third should be covered in this step with an HB. And so we have to apply circlism technique all the time. And again, it means applying tiny overlapping circles. And I just don't want to repeat that, so I'm using circlism all the time. You shouldn't use strokes or cross hatches for the skin. I wouldn't recommend that because that won't create smooth texture of the skin. And for now, the texture looks pretty harsh, but we're going to blend it and it will look very smooth. And also here, when you shade next to the edge on the left side, you just press a bit harder and then you just release the pressure as you shade towards the left side or towards the nose. And it is important to create gradient transition from shadow to highlight. This will give the face round shape. And now let's continue with the brighter nuance next to it. I'm using a 2H here and I press harder next to the HB area, and then I press less and less as I shade towards the nose. And let's shade also this area under the eye. And I just want to continue next to the 2H area. And same here, I press harder next to the 2H area, and I press less and less as I shade towards the center. So here also just go all around. And let's connect the shadow cast by the nose with the one on the left side, because this area under the cheek gets less light than the cheek itself, and we have to shade it. And also let's shade here next to the nose, about 1-2 millimeter thick edge. So now you can see here in the very middle, the area that I have left untouched, this is the highlight. This should be the highlight, because this area would be the most illuminated on this side. Okay, now let's shade the rest of this area with a 6H. I have a 6H, but you can use 7H or 5H if you have this. So here also press a bit harder next to the edge of the previously shaded area, and just release the pressure as you shade towards the center of the highlight. Because as always, gradient transition is important. We have to achieve that this way. So the highlight should look much brighter than the surrounded area, but yet it should be shaded because of the light source that would come from the top right corner. So the highlight shouldn't stay white. That's important. And now finally we can blend it all with a tissue. And just wrap a tissue around your finger and blend. And now you can see how it becomes smooth. So there's a huge difference before and after blending. And now I just want to blend here under the eye with a Q-tip. So now after blending, you can add some shades if you have brightened them up, because after blending, as I mentioned before, we're always going to remove a bit of the graphite and we have to apply that again. Or we will darken the highlights and we have to brighten it up again.